Now that we have a basic structure for our landing page, we are going to begin designing the components within that page. And the first component we are going to be designing is this article component, this postcard component. So I have already gone ahead behind the scenes and downloaded all the images that we are going to need and placed it in a folder called featured images under the images folder. So these are the images we are going to need. If you want to get these exact images or similar images, you can go to unsplash.com and then search for images. If you see an image here that you want, you can just describe the image as best you can on Splash. For example, for the 2020 image, you can just search for 2020 and then you will see it somewhere here. You click on it and then you can download whichever version or whichever size of the image you want. Unfortunately, when I was downloading these images, I forgot to keep track of the links. Otherwise, I would have shared them with you so that you can download the exact same images. But I believe the source code or the images themselves are going to be made available one way or another. Alright, so you can download them too. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can start adding the HTML for this postcard. Okay, so we go to our index.html. Let me close these folders. Okay, inside index.html, inside the page container, we are going to have an article element and we will give it a class of postcard. As seen on the finished project, it is going to have two main sections, the image and then the post info. Alright, so inside this article element, we'll have an image wrapper for the image. We are going to be setting the image as a background image, so I'm going to add another class called bg image. Remember, we defined this class in our admin styles to enhance our background images, so this is it. Alright, so that's one part of the postcard. The other part is the post info, and this is where we're going to be adding information like the topic, the title, and so on. So the first thing we're going to add is a wrapper for the topic and the read time. Okay, so we're just going to call it topic or wrapper. It is simply going to have the topic link or the topic tag, so we'll give it a class of topic tag, that is a link element with a class of topic tag. And as an example, we'll just call this life lessons. We are writing it in small letters, but we are going to use CSS to transform it to capital letters as we see on the project. Okay, so that's one part of the topic wrapper. The other part is the read time. I'm just going to give it a class of gray1 to indicate that it's the first shade of gray, and we'll just say 5 minutes as the read time for this article. And that is all for the HTML for the topic wrapper. The next thing we are going to add is the title. So we'll just wrap it around a div to make sure it is displayed as a block level element. And then inside there we will have another link, and we will give this link a class of text decoration none. And the title here is simply we are going to wrap the title inside an h3 element and give it a class of post title, and we'll just fill it with some example text like this one. Okay, so this is a sample title. And then after the title, as seen on the project, we have a preview of the body of the post. So we will just add another div with a class of post preview. And inside here we'll have a paragraph, and we'll fill it with some default text, with some lorem ipsum text. Okay, I think this is enough for the post preview. And after the post preview, we have another horizontal set of elements. We have the user info to the left and the read more link to the right. So after the post preview div, we're going to add another div just under it. We'll give it a class of author info, and this div has two parts: the author info itself and the read more link. So we are going to add a div with a class of author, and inside that div we'll have an image. It is going to point to our assets folder, images, avatar, and then I'm going to add my avatar here. Let's be sure to give this image tag a class of avatar so that we can style it later on. And then next to the avatar we have the name of the author, and the name is clickable, so we are going to use a link, and we'll just give it two classes, name and then the link class. Okay, so for the name I'm just going to hard code my name here, our Melvin. Remember, we already defined the link style inside our admin style.css. Okay, and we're going to define this other one later on. So that is one part of the author info div. The other part is just a link, and it's going to be pointing to the details or the post details page, which we will add later on. I'm also just going to give this a class of link, and it's going to say read more. Okay, and after the text we have a forward pointing arrow here, so let us search for that in our icon pack. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to click on it and copy the code, and then just after the read more text I'm going to paste that icon. Okay, so this is all about the HTML for a postcard. Let us refresh the page, and yeah, it looks pretty scattered right now, and that's because we haven't yet written the CSS for it. Alright, so in the next video we are going to be styling this postcard using CSS.